bottle. Been going. Does that? Yeah. Aw, fun. I can't even see my own stream on YouTube at the current moment. It is very tremendous. There it is. There it is. How the hell do I change settings? The last time I streamed was unironically a year ago, pretty sure, and that's when we watched. I didn't even play TF stuff, and the very end of it, we watched Fat Albert episodes, and we watched Fat Albert witness a child get murdered, and then said the consciousness of your sins weigh heavily, and then I'm pretty sure got fucking counter blocked. Where you want like, give me a moment to just for people to get. I'll actually begin the ranking. I'll go over what everything means. Can we just put Zombie Escape on S tier to end this stream? I don't even remember where I put Zombie Escape in. The way I made this tier list, I actually have already pre-ranked all the game modes. And this is something I had to make, by the way, because the one on tier list maker, there's only like 14 game modes. Okay? 14 game modes is not enough. I have played more game modes than 14. Also, yes, versus Saxon Hale is. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It's on the best. Okay, it's the best. All right. Big Fortress 2 is also up there, but I can't disrespect my boy versus Saxon Hale. It's too good. Too good. Simply tremendous. Get out of here. Oh shit, that's loud. I forgot how loud that was. Fuck. Yeesh. This is what happens when you don't touch anything for like a year. Alright, that's what happens. Can I edit this directly inside? Thumbnail. There you go. That's what I want. That's what I want. Let me just go like a fucking other video. Copy and paste. I would have done this beforehand, but I don't stream enough to actually understand how to do that. So we're screwed, essentially. Oh, there you go. You can hear the video in the Yes, how's everybody doing on this nice night? Nice afternoon. I don't know where you live. Picker. All good? All fancy? Zombie Escape. Like I said, I don't recall what I put where. Grey Blue would never think to do something like this. Real. Real. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna wait for like a few more people to get in here. We're gonna start in a minute. I want to grab a drink because I want to be talking for probably about an hour. And then once I get back, I'll actually describe how this is gonna work. 2 seconds. Okay. The way this happens, right? The way this is gonna work. I've already preemptively, yesterday or the day before, I don't recall, it doesn't really matter. I went ahead and I created the tier list already. So I have everything already listed, you just can't see what's what. It's not going to be in order from best to worst. I know that for a fact. It's going to be kind of jumbled. At the very end of the video, if something seems out of place, I'm already thinking I know put one way too low. We'll move stuff around at the end. Alright, but we're just going to see how this goes, okay? Starting off the first one. Oh, let me actually explain how the tiers work. F tier, never fucking play. Alright? You can play stuff in F tier once for like the novelty of it, for the pure curiosity you might have. Just remember that curiosity killed the cat, hence why it's an F tier. Stuff in there sucks ass. It's terrible. I hate playing it. I hate discussing about it. It's not fun. It's not enjoyable at all. C tier, a little bit better. C tier, I feel like this is niche. Like, you can go in like once a week and have fun. The game modes in here are a bit too niche. They're fun like once in a while, or you need like too many people to play with it. Servers are usually dead, etc., etc. They're fine. They're fun. They're okay. They're dandy. They're nothing. They're nothing too special. B tier, a lot more relevant. These are the game modes you can play consistently, a lot more. The enjoyment is a lot better as well, a whole lot more fun. Same thing with A tier. A tier is when we reach the point of these games are very, very good. There's always going to be people playing them. Amazing games to play. You can play these regularly. You might get a bit burnt out with them, but fantastic game modes. And S tier, fucking creme de la creme, baby. That's the real ratatouille stuff right there. That's 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. 11 out of 20. Amazing. Versus Saxon Hale's up there. I'm not even going to joke around. It's already there. These are the game modes that honestly should be official game modes. The fact that Valve hasn't done anything about them is terrible. Etc. Does a TF VR mod count? No. I will say, though, that there are non-game modes in here. There are modded versions of TF2 in here. Not many, but there are a couple. I think there's like 4 or 5. Also, in total, strap in, by the way, because take a wild guess how many game modes are actually on this tier list, okay? How many do you think I've played? These are all that I can remember that I played off the top of my head, alright? Take a wild guess. I want to see first 3 numbers. I gotta wait. There's like a 30-second delay on the stream. I'll wait. I'm a patient man. 69. Unironically, 69 is a pretty close fucking guess. There is a little bit less. 45. I think 45 is actually dead on the money. The JDoc D got it. The JDoc got it. Congrats. I'm pretty sure there is exactly 45, if not around that. Nolan might be closer. I'm definitely going to add some afterwards. Anyways, 1. Damn it, Fable's right. There's only 1. Anyways, fucking let's start this fucking thing. All the way at the start, in no particular order, we got Wacky Races. My boy, you telling me you don't know what Wacky Races is? What are you, living under a fucking rock, you idiot? God damn. Wacky Races is this, I tied Balloon Races into this as well, because they're essentially the same game mode. More people definitely know about Balloon Race than Wacky Race, but they're essentially the same. It's a mix of payload race and control points. What you have to do is your team has to stand on your vehicle on a car, and when you're standing on your car, your vehicle will slowly move forward. Once your vehicle comes to a complete stop at the point, the cap will then open up for your team, and then you can open it. Alright? And then you can move on to the next point. And essentially, his first one to make it back first wins. The more points you have, the faster your cars will go, etc., etc. Wacky Races is also based on the TV show from the 80s starring Dick Danger, I'm pretty sure his name is, with the stupid red and blue hat and Hanna-Barbera cartoon. Dick Dastardly. That was his name. Dick Dastardly. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Just phenomenal game mode. I have no complaints. I could literally play balloon races and wacky races for hours on end. There's no downside. Ever since they added the grappling hook too, with manpower and all that, the verticality of the map just opens up. I can see a lot of people not liking it because of if they don't have grappling hooks enabled, because a bit of a annoying thing to get through. But it's an amazing map. My heart, actual heart attack. Good God. 10 out of 10. Not gonna lie. Do you drink bread? Yeah, of course. Never had beer before? I don't actually drink beer. That's not halal, inshallah. You're gonna go to hell for that one, kid. It's Ramadan, too. Next on the tier list. Got motherfucking WarioWare. This WarioWare. What do you want me to say? WarioWare is also a very good game mode. I will say it's more fun with friends. It's not as good compared to playing with randoms. And servers are usually a bit too either A, dead, or B, way too busy to have a lot of fun with it. But once you get into that golden thing, when you have like 6 or 8 players with it, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Oh my god. I will say my main issue with WarioWare is after playing it for probably about an hour and a half, you've gone through all the game modes in it, you've gone through all the mini games of it, and it becomes less fun. Especially when some of them are really boring. One of the most popular, one of the most game modes of all time you'll ever get in WarioWare. Great sentence that is, by the way. Is when you go ahead and you just have as a demo night, go over there with the sticky jumper. There are about 4 or 5 mini games like that, but still very good. Boss stages are the best. I kind of wish there was just like a speed round mode that I can go through it. WarioWare also has this really weird like 1v1 kind of game mode that I don't know what causes it, where essentially every single player in the server has like 3 lives. Every time they fail a game, they lose a life. It's really weird. Most of these servers and games will not be dead, actually. Coming in next, got times 10, also times 100, also times 1000, also negative times -1, excuse me. Chopping these up all together. I don't know who would like this. This is kind of a boring game mode. I couldn't imagine making tier-list videos about this game mode. In all seriousness, no, times 10, times 100, times 1000, whatnot, is fun once in a while. I mean, the novel gimmick of it is obviously going in and seeing what crazy weapons and such happens. But the main issue is you're going to be playing on either Orange, which is a terrible map with crits fully, or you're going to be playing on High Tower only. Both maps are not very well suited for the game mode at all, I find, especially due to how much chaotic carnage can occur. It's okay. They're alright. You go ahead, you show up, you make your funny YouTube reactive video, you go, whoa! The Baker's Bazooka does this? Oh. And then you kind of leave. Fun once in a while for the novelty of it, just to see the pure chaos incur. But that's really it, you know. That goes with all of them. Next up we have Zombie Escape. Going in A tier. Now I've played a bunch of versions of Zombie Escape, and by a bunch, I mean 2 or 3. I'm gonna go off of the one on Skyle's server, because that's the one I have the most experience with. Maybe Black Wonder has one too, I can't recall off the top of my head. Skyle's Zombie Escape is fun. Skyle is kind of infamous, though, for making everybody's PCs run like a potato. I'm fucking Irish or something. Which kind of causes a lot of issue, especially when you have like 32 players in a server, everybody firing non-stop constantly, and a bunch of particle effects going on a very large map. Still, though, Zombie Escape is kind of fun. I say the word kind of because when you're playing as a zombie, it is essentially running up against a brick wall most of the time, and a lot of people do not like to do that. It's very boring gameplay. Not all the maps are like that, but a majority of them are. Santa Escape is probably one of the most memorable TF2 maps I've ever played. The fact that I can memorize off the The fact that I can memorize the pathing of it and the stages of it off the top of my head, that is something of how memorable it is, for better or for worse. Still a very good game mode. A bit repetitive on the zombie side. Human side too, it's kind of very, you can get a little bit bored after a while because you're just shooting in a straight line. That makes sense. I don't hate it. I don't love it. Still very fun to play, very chaotic. Good to hop on for like a day at a time. I can play it all nonstop for a day, but I will get tired eventually. Same thing like WarioWare. It does get repetitive after a while. But still, A tier, solid choice. Can't go wrong. Next up, oh shit, the other zombie game mode, Zombie Fortress. You're kidding me that there's 5 more zombie game modes on this tier list? That's fucking crazy, man. Zombie Fortress is you made Zombie Escape actually good and fun to play against as a zombie. Sure, there are a couple times where you'll get like absolutely steamrolled as a zombie, but the fact that you actually can feel the impact when you're actually hitting somebody compared to Zombie Escape makes it a lot better. You're just gonna have a lot more fun with it. There's a lot more unique stuff going on with it too. The special infected that copy Left 4 Dead 2 is a lot more fun than just everybody's a one-hit zombie, especially with the enzyme system that Zombie Escape uses. Zombie Fortress is the creme de la creme. The weapon pickup system is a little bit janky, but aside from that, it's a phenomenal, phenomenal game mode. If I were to say one complaint with Zombie Fortress, it's that the maps are kind of mid. Not all of them. A lot of them are really great maps. Toy Box is a really great map, but there are a couple ported over maps from Left 4 Dead 2 directly that do not work. For example, the one off the top of my head, Mall Crasher Atrium, does not work in TF2 because it's not properly spaced out. It feels way too shrunk for TF2. A soldier can go from the base floor of Mall Crasher to the top in a single jump, and it kind of just ruins the balance of it when you're forced to kind of run around and get gas cans and all that, etc., etc. But aside from that, right? And I don't blame the game mode itself on that. I blame more so the map creator for some part. But aside from that, phenomenal game. You can't go wrong with it. Playing as a zombie feels fun compared to Zombie Escape, and playing as a human feels awesome as well. Phenomenal game mode. Oop the grass. Coming up next, we have another zombie game mode, Zombie Riot. I highly doubt anybody has heard of Zombie Riot before. I will be impressed if anybody's heard of Zombie Riot before. This is probably one of the most niche game modes on here. It just came out. This is like a month-old game mode, I think. Ugh. Yeah, sorry, I'm drinking. Zombie Riot is really, really pushing the limits of what you can do in TF2. Instead of the other game modes where you would have to fight against players who are zombies and fight for your life, Zombie Riot is much more like Killing Floor. It spawns in NPC zombies for you to fight, and then you get cash to buy better weapons with so you can kill more zombies. I think it just goes endlessly. There might be an end. It's a lot more survival based. And I kind of wish it was much more like Call of Duty Zombies, which I'm pretty sure is also on this list. With the whole entire thing that you go around enclosed space, you buy weapons, you slowly progress and hold out. It's very much more like Killing Floor, where you stay in one area, kill a bunch of zombies, you get money, but there's no like central shop. You kind of just buy upgrade weapons in a menu. It's sort of like Man vs. Machines but zombies, except that the difficulty is endlessly progressing and ramping up. And I'm pretty sure it's only Disc FF that hosts it. The game mode itself, I'm not doing a very good job describing it. Because it goes on endlessly, you can literally play it once and kind of you get everything you can see with playing it once. The only thing you can really do past that moment is maybe buy and experiment with different weapons, but there's really, once you've seen it once, you've seen it all. There's not a whole lot of depth to it. It also doesn't just spawn like robots. I don't know what they do for the coding. I know TF2 and Half-Life 2 obviously use the same base code, but it spawns in like Combine soldiers to fight, and like Striders, and like fast zombies from Half-Life 2. And then it goes ahead and it spawns like normal TF2 enemies, quote unquote, which probably still use like Half-Life 2 AI. They just have a different coat of paint on them. Very strange game mode. It's okay for the novelty of it. Like I said, similar to Times 10. Go in, you have like a little bit of fun. You get like how it works. Maybe you do like another round, you experiment around with a little bit, but that's really it. It's not that in depth. I kind of forgot. I was also gonna say what videos I was gonna make a tier list on. Wacky Races tier list, probably not. WarioWare tier list, maybe I'll rank the mini games in that. I've already done Zombie Escape, Zombie Fortress. Times 10, Great Blue does that. Zombie Riot, I can't do a tier list on that because it's weapon based, it's not class based. It would be very, very, very long, and probably just, well, this gun does 16 damage, but this gun does 20, so the 20 damage gun is better than the 16 damage done. It'd be very boring. I'm not going to do a video on that one. Next one, hey guys, back out of the again with more zombies. Already off the bat, we have 4 out of the 5 zombies done. Boy, oh boy. Zombies Medic is Medic versus Engineer. Very popular game mode. I'm pretty sure only one server runs it, however. I'm not a big fan of it. Compared to Zombie Fortress or Zombie Escape, it's a lot more cut and dry compared to the other two. There's only medics and there's only engineers. The real diversity of the game mode comes from the perk systems they have, which are also not very diverse because they're all either completely shit or completely overbroken. Like having a jetpack so you can jump away and get faster, or just blowing enemies on hit. Useless because the enemies can jump forward. Zombies, Medic versus Engineer should not be called zombies, by the way. Can we talk about that? It's really just glorified hide and go seek. Because the point of the game isn't to survive or to get to the end, it's just to run out the timer and the clock. So your best bet is never to actually fight the enemy like every other game mode because they actually pose a threat. Is just to run in like hide in a corner and wait, which I don't like. Maybe I will make a tier list video on the perk system. Like maybe. I've seen some people request it. I originally thought I would be like, this is going to be the most boring video in the world because obviously you can't do anything for weapons. You're just going to have, oh, well, the medic's best weapon is the Solemn Vow because you can obviously do callouts on an engineer's health. And the engineer's best weapons are obviously going to be the Widowmaker because it definitely fires. But the perk system might just go ahead and add a little bit of depth and diversity to it that I might do it. I still don't think it's a very fun game to play. You could go ahead and hop in once in a while. I mean, if you like playing it, good for you. I'm not going to judge you too hard for it. But there are definitely better zombie game modes out there that do the same thing better compared to Medic versus Engineer. Arena, not really a modded game mode, but considering that you can't really play it official anymore, I have to say it's a modded game, community game mode only. Arena, you hop in, your frags in, you die, you complain about it, do another round. Quick, instant fun. I don't have a lot of complaints about it. There's not much to be said about it. We all know what Arena is, right? It's fine. I've already made a video on Arena, although it wasn't really a tier list, so it's whatever. Oh yeah, first ever D tier balance mod. Yeesh. Balance mod isn't really a game mode. I guess some argument, because it's really just somebody looking at the game saying, I don't like this, make this better. What I did this ranking, I'm initially thinking of B mod, which I'm pretty sure was made by High GPS, which if we're going to go off of that, I honestly would have put an F tier, because High GPS motto for balance is change for the sake of change. Weapons that are very good remain very good and broken, while weapons that are very, very bad, he seems to lack the fundamental understanding on why they are bad. Can't understand that at all. Prime example, the Thano War. The Thano War in base TF2 is an okay weapon. It's not phenomenal. It's not terrible. It's just meh. The situation that you would use it is never. In MVM, it's obviously one thing, but the main issue is obviously why would I ever bother doing mini crits on an enemy when I can just shoot them point blank for maximum damage? Why would I ever take the extra 3 seconds to go ahead to ensure extra damage when I can do more damage in that 3 seconds, my primary, when I'm in that range? The very change. Now, what BMod, Balance Mod, High GPS goes ahead to resolve that isn't to think, all right, so if we want to make the usage of the Fan of War better, right? If the main con of the Fan of War is there's no point of pulling it out to ensure more damage, right? Maybe we should buff the switch to speed and the swing speed, so people can get more use out of it and then can actually maximize the damage potential. No, 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 no. What high GPS says that is when you hit an enemy with it, they go flying straight up. And I don't know why. Why is that a thing? How is that a good thing? That just fucks with your aim. It still marks people for death, right? Does it make it easier to combo into? I guess, arguably. You don't get more usage out of it, though, because you can still just go ahead and point blank shoot for the same thing. Your change is that you make it arguably easier for them to react to getting hit. Because you have more time to just go ahead in the air, flip around, turn around, and shoot and gun you down. Does not make sense at all. It's such an oddball change. If we were arguably going just off of high GPSs, I would probably put it in F tier, to be honest. But I played Fish on a Sticks version of Balance Mod 2. And I agree with most of it. He obviously just goes ahead, he busts like bad weapons, and he kind of nerfs like really, really, really broken weapons. Pretty good. I don't have I didn't play on it that much. Change for the sake of change is kind of like high GPS's motto. It's terrible. Fish Stick on a Stick has a lot more reasonable and sane understanding of it. Plus, bro, I'm gonna take anything to nerf Sport Shot spam. The issue of balance mods in its entirety is that they are obviously personal, right? Everybody has their own idea of what is or isn't balanced. So leads to a bit of disagreement. Some you might agree with, some you might disagree with it. Some might be the volcano fragment just simply does more damage to people who aren't on fire, while some might be when you kill an enemy, they spawn a volcano landmine that anybody who walks over it will they take like fucking 250 damage and ignite people around them for some stupid fucking shit. I don't know why you would ever do that, but that's something you could do if you think cool. Agree with that for some odd reason. But yeah, C tier. Class Wars! Let's give it up for Class Wars! School's in session, ladies and gentlemen. Class Wars is hella fun if it wasn't on Dust Bowl all the time. I know there are some servers that don't run it on Dust Bowl. I'm gonna be honest, Class Wars, unironically, is less about which class is better than which class. It's more about who the fuck got the better RTD role, right? It's always like, oh man, Dust Bowl second. I can't wait to go against a wall of engineers just to wait for my teammate to roll power play to then win. It's never really about like the 1v1 or like the class v class matchups. I think conceptually it's a very good idea, but I think this over reliance on roll the dice and such is a bit too much. Medic v Medic is the most boring matchup. I would disagree. Spy v Spy is really annoying. No, sorry. Spy versus anything that isn't Sniper is really boring. Spy, because everybody just knows. Spy versus Heavy, you're just gonna get gunned down. Like you're like as a spy, you're just gonna get shot to bits. You can't backstab anybody because everybody's fully revved up, and Spy can't rev it up. Spy versus Pyro, you're dead. Spy versus Soldier, you're dead. Spy versus Demo, you have a bit more of a chance because Demo's pipes are harder to aim than the average person. And Demo Knights, you might get away with a trick stab here or there. Spy versus Scout, good luck. Yeah, your Spy versus Engineer is really just real pain. Spy versus Sniper is the only one that's like really a very good contender, along with Spy versus Spy, obviously. That's like an equal matchup. Oh yeah, no, 100%. 100% Dust Bowl causes RTD stalemates. But the other issue is, what are you gonna do, right? I think the other issue is like the only other Class War server I've ever seen that's not been on Dust Bowl has been on Hightower, and that's not any better. Hightower is actually, I would arguably say, worse because this is a stalematey map. Well, at least with Dust Bowl, like, time can run out. I'm playing Engineer versus fucking Spy on Hightower, it's never gonna end. It's just, they can't cap, and we can't sap, but we can't cap fully either because we get backstab. This is never gonna end. What other maps would work well for Class Wars? Any payload map. Any payload map would work. Payload would actually be a much more interesting game to see for Class Wars because it's constantly moving compared to Dust Bowl. Really just attack and defend in general. You could just go ahead, you could have Engineer versus anything, and all it becomes is a stalemate city where if they're on defenders, you're screwed. But at least with like payload, you can push and shove a little bit. Obviously, when you get to like the last point, for example, Upward, if you did Engineers on defense versus anything, you might run an issue because Upward lasts as hell. That's still like 90% of the maps. They're just a lot better. Class Wars on Turbine? Fuck no. God no. Hell no. Class Wars on a CTF map would be true pain. Oh. Yeah, Super Zombie Fortress and Zombie Fortress are separate game modes. Yeah, I know that. The only issue is that Super Zombie Fortress is the current one, the Left 4 Dead 2 one, pretty sure. And Zombie Fortress is an old one that I haven't seen in forever. Like, since 2016, I don't think anybody plays it anymore. I don't think there's any servers hosting it anymore. You're never going to find the original Zombie Fortress. It wasn't that good anyways. I think you were limited to like 6 classes, free on zombies, free on survivors. It was a very boring game mode. I much prefer Super Zombie Fortress comparatively. But yeah, Class Wars. Class Wars is a game mode. Once again, it's kind of like I always come back to Class Wars. Like I always gravitate towards it. I'll see it in like the server browser if I don't feel like anything else. I'm down for Class Wars. It's fun to just muck around in for 20 minutes. Even if you get like a really shitty matchup, right? It's still fun to just kind of like mindlessly push through it for some stupid reason. And that might just be like the masochistic nature of Dust Bowl kicking in, or just like the over reliance on RTD that makes it even more chaotic and funny. But it's Class Wars. You can't really hate it. You can only just get like tired of a matchup and leave, and then come back like 20 minutes later play the same. I think Great Blue already made a video on Class Wars too. I would like to make a video, but I think he beat me. I probably would have done it in a very similar style too. Next up, CP Orange. CP Orange is not a game mode, it is a map, but it's such a popular map that I feel like it deserves a mention, right? I don't think you can go anywhere with CP not showing up. What's everybody's opinion on CP Orange real quick? I'm very meh about it. It's a very sniper heavy map. You would think I would like it because I'm sniper, but usually servers you play on are 100% crit. Having 100% crit sniper where you one shot everything without having to scope in is very very annoying. Orange isn't an F. How? I feel like here's the thing. It's like 2 Fort, right? People will say they fucking hate 2 Fort. People will rant and rave and storm the Capitol over how much they apparently hate 2 Fort. But at the end of the day, you can't hate it. All right? It's got a special place in your heart. Same thing with Orange. I hate Orange. I loathe Orange. I hate the gameplay cycle of Orange. You can never cap it. It's really bad. It's just boring. But it's such an iconic map that putting in an F just seems like a disservice to like 3 decades of gaming. I don't know how old is CP Orange. I feel like that's actually a CS:GO source map that just got ported over. I don't know the history of CP Orange. New video idea: the history of CP Orange. That might be a thing already. I have somewhere in my list the history of TR Walkway. I was gonna do a video on that whenever. Love CP. It's like what Jay said. It's everybody's first custom map. You meet like complete cocaine crackheads on there that just snort Colombian booger sugar 24 hours a day. C tier. I can't, it's not in me to put it in all the way enough. I don't have the heart for it. Next up, Crab Mod. Has anybody heard of this game mode before? This game mode is like a fever dream. I swear to God, this is not real. This game mode is one of the worst things in the fucking world. F tier. I want to. What's your guess? What's your guess for Crab Mod? What's your guess? Come on, I want to hear some guess. Get chat involved in this. Come on. Nobody's heard of this game mode. I guarantee it. I want to see one guess, and then I'll continue on. One person said they heard it. Bear, what do you think it is then? You said you heard it. What in God's name? Spy crabs. There you go. Scout Dude got it. It's spy crabs. Crab mod is by far one of the. I don't even know. This it's like. Here's the thing, right? With whoops, sorry. With medic versus engineer, right? Which I would consider to be like the second lowest currently game mode. It's just like somebody was like, "What if we made hide and go seek a game mode?" And then somebody's like, "Yeah, you know what? Sure, we could spice up a little bit." And that was the game mode. Crab mod, from a conceptual standpoint, sounds so fucking boring and insane. The person who designed it sounds like they have to go ahead and they were like locked up in a penitentiary. It doesn't sound real, right? There are two teams, red and blue. Blue team is spies. They can only move right through a map through spy crabbing. It's essentially just going down a hallway to the end. Red team is a bunch of huntsman snipers. They have to kill the spy crabs before they get to the end of the hallway. That's the game mode. That's the fucking game mode. It's just shooting fish in a barrel. That's all it is. DR Walkway has more involvement into it. Okay? Let's put that in mind. Playing against bots has more involvement. Okay? Going on a trade server has more involvement and thought put into it. All it is one team is at the mercy of another and has to walk down a hallway, and the other team like shoots at them. That's not a game mode. That's just a fucking massacre. That's just a war crime. I made a map for Lizard of Oz. No. Ugh. I feel like this game mode came out probably like 2012 and then died in 2012 as well. I don't blame people for not knowing what it is at all. It feels very short lived. This is a memory unlocking kind of thing. A lot of like OG players will probably like play this once and then just kind of cycle it out for the better, repress that trauma of ever having to play this shitty game. Last time I saw this was 2010. Oh yeah, I'll even take that. That sounds about right. This is terrible game. F tier, easy. I will be doing the Spy Crab mod tier list, guys. In S tier, we have Sniper of the Huntsman. In F tier, we have Spy Crab. Thank you for watching and coming out to the video. Please subscribe. Custom weapons. This is another thing that's kind of like balanced mod, where it's not really like a game mode. It's more like a concept. Still, can't really go wrong with it. I can't even recall like the one custom weapon, the most popular custom weapon server you can play on. I would say that RIP Karma Charger. Karma Charger indeed kind of like made this a lot more meta, if that made sense, a lot more relevant. People, I'm pretty sure there were like custom weapon servers out and about, but seemed to gain a lot more traction with Karma Charger. I'm blanking on the name. There is a custom fucking Donald fucking Duck. There is a custom weapon server and a custom weapon wiki where you can see all the stuff for it. Doesn't seem bad. I mean, like if you ever get like really tired of normal based TF2, you need something like spice up the day just like a little bit, but you don't want to like be too adventurous. Definitely go on a custom weapon server. You know what I mean? It might take a while to like download the files and stuff. But it's fun. Can't go wrong. Let's just look up what's some custom weapons that custom weapon TF2 has. Minecraft tier list now. I just did one. Let's look up. Oh yeah, they also like do some class balances. Let's look up some sniper rifle weapons. All right, so what's some sniper weapons? Okay. Custom weapons. Here we are. Sniper custom weapons. The Astral Assassin applies knockback to the target, increases based on charge. Knockback increases on headshot. Arrows can bounce up to 10 times. That actually sounds cool. Huntsman that bounces arrows. That sounds really cool. And then we have the Razor Rack, but worse. There's Jesus Christ. That still gives me a fucking heart attack. Whew. Some of the weapons they have on here is a lot better than others. A lot of them also stem from, I'm gonna say, cut weapons that were leaked, etc. Very fun. They have a tiki drink. Yes, they do for Scout. I'm pretty sure the tiki drink for Scout makes you smaller, right? The tiki tonic on use, user is decreased in size. While tiny, user is decreased in size by 30%. User takes mini crits and deals 30% less damage while mini. So it's kind of fun. Remember the Crucible from Doom for demo night? Yeah, that's a weapon too. We'll check the stats on this one. No, it's not here actually. I figured we had a different server. I'm just going off what like the wiki has, but you can't go wrong. I'm pretty sure TF2 Classic also uses custom weapons a lot. Most of them are just 1-to-1s of the ones in here. I don't know if there's any comparison. I don't know if like there's relevance for shared dev teams on them. Share teams on anything on them, or if they got permission or whatnot. Just fun. It's just a nice thing to spice it up. I would like to do and kind of pick up the quote-unquote mantle that Karma Charger did, which is going over custom weapons on the workshop and reviewing them, quote-unquote, but mainly playing them in an actual game, doing that. The weapon review videos, I want to be honest, are very, very... They're a dime a dozen, you know what I mean? Weapon reviews are a dime a dozen. We've all played around with the loose cannon, alright? We've all used, like, Natasha. We've all used stock. It's like, it's whatever. It's something I would like to do, but I'm not going to do it in a very, very, very long time. It's a big what if. But like I said, custom weapons. Can't go wrong. Always fun. Here comes a controversial choice. Death Run going in A tier. Somebody's going to hate me for that one. I can't hate Death Run though. Don't get me wrong. Death Run is a coin flip of a game mode. Completely. 100% a coin flip game mode. And a lot of it is dependent on the map you're playing on. Some maps are extremely phenomenal. DR_safety first is in a phenomenal map. It's like one of the greatest Death Run maps I've ever played. The traps are actually noticeable. There actually is not a lot of like skill required. You can actually see the death. It's fun. It's bad maps will be terrible. Bad maps, if you're playing on a really bad map, right? Like shitty map, it's going all the way. Oh shit, that's the background. Fuck. Ignore that. Bad maps, like you're gonna go all the way into C tier, okay? C tier for bad maps. But you're gonna play on like a normal map, A tier. If you're bad at the game, right? If you can't do parkour, if you can't jump around, right? You're gonna not have fun with the game mode. Me, I've played Death Run a while, so I'm obviously a bit more acquainted with it. So I have issue. The longer you play Death Run, the better you'll get at it, and that obviously goes ahead and makes it easier. That's kind of stupid. The main issue I have is like first time playing on a map, you're never gonna have fun either. That's another problem. Terrible. It's just kind of whatever, you know what I mean? Can't hate it, but you can't really love it. Death Run tier list, guys. Let's go. Ready for the Death Run tier list? Scout S tier because of double jump. Everybody else fucking B tier. To be fair though, I'm gonna be honest real quick. Death Run actually does, some servers have like a really stupid niche actual like legitimate meta ranking for some reason. Some servers allow Scout, which I don't understand why. Some maps allow sniper to have the cozy camper and also to have the um danger shield, so like you're just immune to fire traps. I don't know. Some maps are some servers are weird. Oh yeah, like Jackie Pink and I just said. I would say maps are a much bigger decider than server decisions and allowance. So 100%. Just whatever. You know why it's there. Death Run is a lot more fun, by the way, if you can play with friends. I think if we're gonna take everything like in a vacuum here, right, and we're gonna say like, all right, let's make a server, run it up with the boys, right? Get the boys on the Discord call. Death Run probably gonna go in S tier if you're just playing with friends. The fact you don't have to like immediately wait around for a respawn, you can just watch and all that shit too. Like your friends do it, S tier. Playing with rams on a public server, A tier, B tier at best. Oh boy. Dodgeball, which is now off-centered. Eek! Dodgeball. Dodgeball gets repetitive. I kind of wish there were a bit more dynamic maps for Dodgeball, but it's very fun. Rounds go by quick compared to something like Death Run, if you don't like the arena formatting. And it's very good air blast practice too. I don't have a lot to say about Dodgeball. It's fun. It's easy. You can't really do much more about it though. It's just kind of it exists. You go ahead, a rocket shoots at you, you air blast the rocket back. More like, why is it called dodgeball though? Anybody ever figure that's more like tennis if you think about it? Why the fuck's it called you're batting a thing back and forth, but it's not called tennis. It's called dodgeball. You're not dodging the rocket because you're sending it back. We're gonna have to put dodgeball in F tier. It's not called tennis. Sorry. No. Dodgeball's fine. There's like I said, there's just not like a lot of depth. You can hop in for like quick fun for like 20 minutes. You get your air blast practice in, and then you kind of just leave. There's not a lot to say about it. Not a lot of depth. It's like an arcade game. You know what I mean? It's like what's that game they have like every single Walmart where you have to like stack the blocks on top of each other? It's like that. It's exactly what that is. That's a great analogy. One guy. Hold on, we're gonna do this one first. We're gonna skip Freak Fortress 2! Freak Fortress 2, motherfucker! Freak Fortress fucking 2, motherfucker! Fuck yeah! Stands for Fuck Freaks 2. Fuck yeah 2. Freak Fortress 2, I'm not going to talk too much about it because I'll just share my joy and expression for it when I talk about Versus Saxon Hail. But it really just takes Versus Saxon Hail and just makes it better. It just adds more bosses. Some bosses, don't get me wrong, are complete bullshit to either play as or against. But really all it is just DLC kind of like for Versus Saxon Hail. Blizzard of Oz is probably going to be pissed at me for saying that though because they're in the call. Blizzard of Oz, by the way, the original creator Versus Saxon Hail. Freak Fortress 2, I asked like a day ago, something like that. Purple Jack just asked a fucking question and I'll answer it. You can't just say my name over and over again. Freak Fortress 2, I definitely will 100% do a video on. I just have to find the server I want to do a video on. I was genuinely going to do it on Brew Crews. I have the Brew Crew boss, I had the Brew Crew boss list and a little bit of a script written up for that one. But not a whole lot. And apparently, Brew Crew no longer exists. So, can't do that one anymore. And I was going to do Skyle, because Skyle only has, I think, about, like, 17 bosses. But they don't have Goomba stomping Skyles. And I'm going to be honest, playing versus Saxon Hail without Goomba jumps, right? Goomba stomps, sorry. Especially on like very slow bosses that have a long super jump time or have a slower base movement speed so they can't catch with scouts up very quickly or they can't catch pyros very quickly. Having no Goomba jumps is painful. Did you hear about the versus Saxon Hail V script map too? Yeah, yeah, I did. Lizard of Outlook. We'll get to it. We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it when we get to versus Saxon Hail. Gale has the weirdest bosses in the server. Skyle's Freak Fortress 2 servers, I think there's only one of them, and it's like set in New York. So it's very EST independent. Half of their bosses are pretty normal. The other half of their bosses are just troll concepts. I'm not gonna lie. I might have to just reconcile my issues with Skyle's Freak Fortress 2 server and just like cope and sit with not being able to do Goomba Stomps. I'll try to find like another server to play with, but I might be forced to just stick with that one. I don't have many issues to say without it. Freak Fortress 2 though, amazing. We'll talk about more when we get to versus Saxon Hail, because the same game more or less. Oh, Freak Fortress 2. You've heard of Freak Fortress 2, but what about Freak Fortress 2 2? This is Freak Fortress 2 rewritten, aka Freak vs. Freak. I do not like this game mode at all. Freak Fortress 2 rewritten, aka Freak vs. Freak, is essentially what if everybody was versus Saxon Hail? Terrible idea. Terrible, terrible idea. So hypothetically, it's going to be 12v12, right? Everybody is a boss. And your health pool is like 12 fucking kajillion. And you just kind of run around. It's too chaotic. But versus Saxon Hail and Freak Fortress 2, right? The chaos is centered around where the boss is, right? Everybody is fighting the boss. When you have 12 people, right? You have fucking Goku, right? Doing a Super Saiyan fucking N-word bomb. Blows up everybody, right? That's too much. There's too much going on. I also find it very poorly balanced. Every single fight kind of boils down to, are you playing a boss that has a gun or a melee weapon? If you are playing as a boss that has a melee weapon, you are fucked. You cannot do anything about a guy with a gun, right? Because it's not like the guys with the guns, they have less health. They have the same health as you. And they do more knockback. And they can super jump away. So anytime you get close, you can hit them twice, knock them back because of shitty fucking... If you can hit them at all, by the way, because of a hit detect and just not being able to get close. Then they just run around, shoot you with their kilojun fucking kilogun. And then there goes like 300 HP. It's just annoying to play. It's just annoying to play. It's not fun. Somebody probably has fun playing with it, right? Probably the guy who has the gun. But I don't like it. It's too much for me. It's too chaotic. And it just seems very poorly balanced. Freak Fortress 2, the base game mode and versus Saxon Hail, when you play as the boss, you also get a very nice little text block definition about what the boss does. You don't have that for Freak Fortress 2 rewritten, sorry. And bosses aren't just kind of like copy and pasted with like some slight stat changes. Like, yeah, his super jump is 5 seconds instead of 3 seconds, right? And the only thing you really have to learn or know about a boss is his rage. No, these bosses are like completely different characters, okay? This isn't like you can copy and paste knowledge one-to-one. You have to learn and main a boss, which I don't like in a very casual setting like Freak Fortress 2 versus Saxon Hail, right? I'm not playing Street Fighter, okay? I'm not going to do quarter circle punch, right, to do a Hadouken, okay? I just want to pick up the game and play. I don't want to have to, like, look up and go on a Discord to figure out what a boss does, right? C tier. Oh, here comes another oldie. Fort Wars. Fort Wars. Yippee. Fort Wars is very interesting. As a conceptual standpoint, I like it a lot. It is a very clean and fun take on the arena game mode, but the way match starts with is you basically both teams are separated by a wall that will disappear in like 3 minutes. During those 3 minutes, your team and the enemy team can spawn in props to build a fort. It's much kind of like Worms. After those 3 minutes up, then you two fight to the death, and the winner comes up on top. I think the way it works, the last time I played this was like 2018, so you have to forgive my memory. Servers do not run this game anymore. I think the game mode works with the more damage, the more kills you do, the higher your score, the more money you have, and the more props you can spawn in for the next round. It's a very fun game mode. It's a very novel game mode. I like it a lot more than Arena, but it's kind of there. The balancing on it is a bit whack. Soldiers, demos, and such have a very big advantage because they can just ignore most things. Hit scan classes like engineers and heavies will have a very difficult time. Snipers in particular are not fun to play against in this game mode because they'll just build a fucking tower in the back of the map and then like a shit ton of cover that they can snipe in. Especially if you're playing against me, I will cheat. I know which props I can shoot through and I know which props you. It's okay. Wasn't it CTF? I don't think it was CTF. Maybe it was. It's been forever. I definitely recall the more people you kill, the more money you get, and the more props you can. Actually, yeah, you know what? Maybe it was like you know what? Fort Wars is just Minecraft Bed Wars at the end of the day. You can't let the enemy team break your fucking bed or you stop respawning. That's essentially what it was. I hate to make that comparison, but it's literally like 1-to-1 the same game. If you can imagine Bed Wars in Gmod, and then imagine that in TF2, that's what Fort Wars is. Okay? Nice cold brew. Next up, Gun Game. I think Black Wonder is one of the only servers that runs this. There might be another one in the UK that I've never played. Gun Game is very fun. Gun Game's pretty novel. Gun Game is pretty simple. If you've ever played a Call of Duty game and you know what Gun Game is, and I don't really have to describe it, you kill somebody, and then you get a different gun, and then you kill somebody with that gun, and then you get another gun, so on and so forth, until you get all the way up to, I think, the Golden Wrench. And when you kill someone with the Golden Wrench, you win the game. The issue with Gun Game in TF2, though, is TF2 is not made for, like, free-for-all, right? Gun Game is a very free-for-all-esque game. It's meant to be fast-paced, it's meant to be chaotic. It does not work when you have two teams fighting against each other, but you're still competing against other people in a team. It's very chaotic. What usually happens is you'll have two people walking together, one guy doing all the work, and then the other guy just kills, like, stealing and leveling up. It's an okay game. For what it is in the TF2 kind of like formatting, they did their best. I can't make any complaints about it. They did their best. But it's not phenomenal. It has its quirks. D tier. I might make a standalone video on it. Just a quick. Oh, excuse me. Might make a standalone video on it. I don't know. Next up, the Hidden. Heyo. This one up again too. The Hidden is a very fun port of a Gmod game mode. It essentially details one person is a permanently invisible spy who essentially has kind of like a Saxon Hale-esque super jump. The only time you can see the spy is the shimmer of his cloak, which is very hard to spot, in addition to when he attacks. It's essentially one invisible boss versus the entire team. Very fun game mode to play. A lot of mind games go into it. A lot of like kind of camping. It's hard to describe. It's fun to play. It's like aggressive hide and go seek, but the person you're trying to seek out has a knife. Came in Gmod first, and then came over to TF2. And then I think they also have a hidden standalone game for Source as well. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm pretty sure that's true. Fun game. I would love to do a tier list of this video, actually. I don't think any servers run it anymore. I'll probably have to run it up on my own. So make sure you join the Discord server, because I'll be making a server soon that's going to host all these games. Not all, but like once a month I'm going to play them, and I want to make a video about them. We're going to play another one. S tier, you're crazy, it's not S tier. The issue with the Hidden, right? The reason why I can't put it in S tier is that some classes are just conceptually way too broken compared to others. And that's kind of going down to the concept of things. Because when you have spy, right, you're essentially just fighting a super spy. So things like the flamethrower, things like Girardi, right, those kind of ruin the game. It makes it very easy to follow the boss. Heavy's minigun also, to a lesser degree, but similar, works. You know what I mean? It's like gun game where like they did their best formatting it. They did a lot better. There's a lot less issues and adversity come over. Fun game. A tier. I can't recall in the TF2 version, but in the Gmod version, the actual boss, also gets a grenade, which makes camping a lot less of an issue in that game mode. Don't know if it's true for the TF2 version. I don't know if it is. Can't tell. Can't tell you. If they don't get a grenade, then obviously camping is a much more viable strategy, which makes the rounds drag out and very boring because it is an arena game mode. But if that's not the case, then that's not the case, and it can stay up there. Um, Next up is the Hunted. The Hunted is a technical TF2 game mode that they brought over to TF2 Team Fortress 2 Classic. I blanked on the name for a second there. Hunted is essentially it's also a TFC game mode. It essentially just involves the civilian, and you have to escort the civilian to the capture points, and only the civilian can capture the points. Red team tries to kill the civilian, and then they respawn, yada yada yada. It's like payload kind of, but the payload is a person. It's an alright game mode. It's probably a lot better in TF2 Classic. I've only played it once or twice in TF2 Classic. I'm not a big TF2 Classic fan. I just find it very annoying to kind of go through the launcher. Go to TF2. Fun game, novel idea, but you are at the detriment of like one person being just being smart. My experience with the game mode is if you're on red, it's typically a steamroll, and then if you're on blue, if you're VIP, if you're civilian, like sniffing glue, eating crayons, and barely count to 5, eating raw eggs, it's just you're not gonna have a fun time. And I think that's like the real fault of the game mode. You're completely reliant on one person to do all the work. Yep. 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 What do I want to say? What do I even need to say? We all knew it was coming. We all knew this was gonna be here. It deserves to be here. I want to give a very short and apt description of Jailbreak, right? There are 14-year-old and like 11-year-old boys, right? And get picked on and bullied at school, right? And they can't do nothing about it. So what they go ahead and they do is they hop on a jailbreak server and they become warden, and that's where they get their fucking power in this world. That's where they get their kicks. That's the only power they have in this world. Fucking being warden at a jailbreak server. Because they don't have like the actual skill to like they don't possess a skill to do well in normal TF2. So they have to go to like a jailbreak server to do anything. The thing about Jailbreak too is I like the mini games on Jailbreak. If Jailbreak was literally only the mini games like WarioWare, I would love it a lot more. But I have to deal with like a 14-year-old kid whose parents probably beat him with a belt every day just to get some enjoyment out of it. That's bullshit. Who this is? Oh, I gotta look this name up now. This sounds like a familiar name. This sounds like a very familiar name. Oh, yeah, this guy. I remember when I was doing Gmod for my videos like 2 years ago, I used to look for his tutorials. You gotta be wild. You have to have... I don't know what you gotta be. You gotta be the biggest masochist to play Jailbreak, or gotta be like the biggest child to play Jailbreak. There's no in between. That's all it is. Shouldn't even be counted as a game mode. They're usually not true. I don't understand the point of a game mode where like the goal and the main point of it and the main fun you get is not dying. You know what I mean? Like that's the point of the game. The point of the game is to get yelled at by children and then to not die by said child. The point of the game is to not be embarrassed. That's it. That's all it is. Crazy. Jump maps. Jump maps. Once again, not really a game mode. Kind of just practice, really. I don't have a lot to say. It's kind of like Orange. Jump maps obviously have a lot more value than Orange or Balance Mod. Go win them. You practice pogos. Practice your air surfs. I don't know. Get in, you get out. I don't have a lot to describe them. If you're a real cracked Mr. Beast soldier main, you'll probably enjoy him a lot more than I do. I can't. I'm not that good at. I can. I'm acceptable enough at rocket jumping. I'm not like a god at it. I know enough to be good at it to say where I'm at the level and proficiency of it that I can make use of it in game. I don't think I've ever had to do like a double pogo jump in a normal TF2 match though, so I think I'm fine. So yeah. I don't think I have tier walkway. Ooh! Oh shit, yeah! Lambada Fortress, baby! This, I want to make a video on this. I 100% want to make a video on this. I want to do a tier list on this video too. Lambada Fortress is technically not a game mode. It's technically a game, technically a mod. What essentially is that you go through the original Half-Life 2, but instead of Gordon Freeman, you play as the mercenaries, all 9 classes. The only issue with it is that it uses 2007 launch TF2, right? So engineer doesn't have level 3 buildings, he can't pick up buildings, right, etc., etc. There's no air blast, but it is fun as fuck with friends. Clarify that. The only real problem that comes with it is because ammo isn't a thing in like Half-Life 2. What I mean by that is that the shotgun pickups, the pistol pickups for Half-Life 2 are not compatible with TF2 weapons. You kind of need an engineer, right? Same thing for health, right? You kind of need a medic or an engineer for the dispenser. But with that exception out of the way, Lambada Fortress is fucking sweet. Right? I don't think there's anything more goofy than hearing. How do you talk? Hold on, I gotta remember the thing. The right man in the wrong place. Oh, the difference. The world. And then hearing like fucking Heavy go, ah, sandwich make me cry. Fucking hilarious. Fucking amazing. Seeing Dr. Breen saying, Gordon Freeman, man of the hour. And then just like a Heavy saying, who touched my gun? And gunning him down with 500 bullets. Phenomenal. I highly recommend playing this game. You need friends to play it, but I highly recommend downloading it. Lambada Fortress, yeah. Man Machines. Man Machines is kind of similar to Freak Fortress and Versus Saxon Hale, and kind of similar to Freak Fortress 2 Rewritten. Kinda. Imagine Versus Saxon Hale, but instead of one boss, there were 6, but they weren't that strong. That's kind of what Man Machines is. Man Machines essentially, red team has to defend blue giant robots from deploying a bomb. This is another game made by High GPS, and because it's made by High GPS, it unfortunately uses Balance Mod, which I've already discussed my displeasure before. But looking past that, it's still a rather fun game mode. I do think the balancing is a bit one-sided. Some classes are really fucking overpowered, like Heavy, and some of the giants are really, really necessary. Like, you need a giant medic, you need a giant soldier, you need a giant Heavy, right? It's kind of weird. It feels like a raid boss kind of deal. The robots themselves are very unique, very fun to play with. Most of them are TF2 YouTubers. For example, you can play as an Uncle Dane robot, and he builds like mini sentries really fast. I don't think he's very good because robot engineers in that game are not very good. You can play as Air A7, and he's kind of fucking necessary because he's one of the few medic robots. You kind of need him because you need your bearded expense and big Joey robot to go ahead and tank the front line so your Mikey robot can rush the bomb to the point or something like that. Also, I'm in the game mode, and every time I play this game mode, somebody thinks it's a smart idea to play me as a robot and just disrespect my name by sucking ass. And they drag and they disrespect the name. And I get annoyed. I'm not gonna spend too much more time on man machines. I might make a tier list on the robots about it. Maybe. Not too thrilled about playing the game mode. I will say, I'll talk about me real quick. I'm in the game. My gimmick is I have a shooting star that always 100% pierces through enemies. Kind of good, kind of niche, depends on the map. I have a SMG. I forget what my melee is. But I'm whatever. You know what I mean? That's kind of the issue playing a sniper in a game like that where you need like heavy damage dealers and all that stuff. You've played man machines too much, RGB4. What's your thoughts on man machines? I think the balance is like really skewed and lopsided. As mentioned before. I'm gonna say I'm the best sniper. Fuck you. I don't care. I don't even care if Jaber's in it. I don't care if Fish Stickin' or Stickin's in it. I'm the best sniper in man machines. I don't even know if I'm factually correct or not. I'm just going to go off the fact that I can hit more than one person with a gun. But C tier. It's also very chaotic of a game mode. Very chaotic. Mario Kart. Now, you might be thinking Mario Kart, like I'm referring to the Mario Kart map, trade_Mario Kart, that features prominently in everybody's favorite Kitty 0607's video. I'm not talking about the map. I am talking about the Mario Kart game mode, which is just Mario Kart, but in TF2. You get your little bumper cart, you drive around the course, you can pick up power-ups, you can knock people around, and then you do 3 laps and you win. Is it fun? Kind of. It's very similar to like Zombie Riot ×10 in custom weapons, where you aren't really playing it all that often. You're playing it for the novelty of it, right? You're playing to see how it goes. If you own Mario Kart, you're better off just playing Mario Kart. It's fun to see how they adapted it to TF2. Some of the maps are just direct ports of Mario Kart maps too. I know Bowser's Castle for the SNES is in there, but it gets a little bit stale. Not a lot of the maps are really bad. There's not that many shortcuts. The power-ups, the big decider, right, in Mario Kart that makes matches go and be fun are not really as present in TF2. They make use with the bumper car spells, but it's just not that fun. You get like the bomb, you get like the parachute. It works, but it's not that good. You know what I mean? Is whatever. MGE going in F tier. What can I say? MGE is not really a game mode either. It's just a 1v1. But the thing about MGE is that it's a really boring 1v1, and I think the issue is that it has no real predation on actual skill level within TF2. You can be cracked in MGE, don't get me wrong. But then the moment like you're playing a normal match and then like a fucking revved up heavy turns the corner and you can't do anything about that because it's just a casual experience as the game plays. That's just the game. That's just the game. Doesn't help that like you'll either play against super sweaty tryhards that have 6,000 hours only in MGE, or you'll play against a guy who has like 123 ping. The one saving grace of MGE is like the memes. MGE, brother! Brother, MGE! What does MGE even stand for? What does MGE even stand for? Can anybody tell me what MGE even stands for? I don't even fucking know. Does anybody know? Greek Fortress 2 FF2 versus Saxon Hill VSH. MGE might get erect. I don't fucking know. What does it stand for? Hmm? I'm trying to like gently think about it. Massive gentrified ego. My gaming edge. Fuck off. That's not what it is. My giant ego. That's what that stands for, because that's what every single fucking player plays MGE is. My giant ego. That's why they call it that. That's what they have. Terrible game. Metal Gear, Metal Gear Extended. Murder. Murder is very similar to The Hidden. It is yet another kind of Gmod game mode that's been ported over to TF2. Everybody is spy. There is one spy who spawns in with a revolver. This revolver is a insta kill. It will do like 9,000 damage. It will kill anybody it hits. But it has a very, very, very long reload time. There is also the bystanders. They do not spawn with a weapon. Excuse me. They don't spawn with a weapon. They have to roam the map and pick up gun parts. Once they get 5 gun parts, they too get a gun. And finally, there is the murderer. Now, the thing about the murderer is there isn't just one of them. There are different classes of murderers as well. So you might have a very standard murderer who's just normal spy. He can stab somebody, he can kill them instantly, obviously. Backstabs will make no death noise, while getting a normal stab will cause the spy to scream out and such. Might play as a murderer that stabs somebody and then can disguise as that person, keep up the charade a bit longer. You might play as a murderer that does not have that ability, but instead can actually tank a gunshot. They have the dead ringer. You might play a murderer that can throw flying guillotines and kill people like that. You might play a murderer that can poison people and does damage over time. It's a very unique game mode. The only downside is that it's on a Disk FF server. And Disk FF servers, right? The admins on that are literally dictators. They will ban you for having fun, which is not a joke. I have seen it happen twice. And that kind of ruins it. Murder is also a game mode that you need a microphone to play with. That's another con. I want to make a video on it. It'd be very short. It would just be going over the murder classes too, because obviously bystander would just be very boring. I think it's also a bit pay to win. Some murderer classes are literally very, very basic. Like I said, you'll get, hey, like, oh, well, this murderer, right? His gimmick is that he can throw his knife and kill people from afar. And then you'll have, like, this is Jack Frost, the murderer. He freezes people to death. And if you right-click with his knife out, he'll also slow people down in an area, right? And also, as Jack Frost, if you go ahead and you crouch and you right-click, you'll get, like, freeze armor and you'll block bullets and you can't get shot when you're in the freeze armor mode. It's really stupid. You'll go from just guy with a knife, guy with a gun, guy with, like, a bear trap, to, like, a Final Fantasy 17 character. We're like, oh yeah, this guy can summon the sun and it will shoot a laser beam down and kill you instantly. It's very weird. But still. One of the murderers is literally Darth Vader, I'm pretty sure. Like, not one for one, but, like, he's based off of that. Anyways, moving on. Parkour Fortress. Parkour Fortress, I'm gonna be fucking honest with you. Just go ahead and buy... What's the game it's based off again? I'm literally gonna have to look it up. Parkour game. Look up Parkour game. It's gonna be the one. Parkour game. Hold on. Parkour. Mirror's Edge. That's what it is. Do you remember Mirror's Edge, guys? That's essentially what Parkour Fortress is. Except it's janky. So you can try to wall climb. You can try to kind of wall... very momentum based. You build up speed as you run. You hold crouch as you jump off. You go ahead and do a little duck and roll and you retain momentum. Do a bunch of stuff. It's not bad. Don't get me wrong. It's very fun. Janky. I also don't like how 90% of the maps are just speedrun base. It's just kind of about like an obstacle course, like see how fast you can get from the start to the finish. There's only one good map that I like to play, which is the Mirror's Edge map, which is essentially just kind of like Parkour Fortress, but a death match. Run around, you pick up guns, shoot people, just go have fun like that. It's just like a Parkour Fortress sandbox. There's no objective, there's no goal. It's just nice, fluid, sweet movement and killing people. That's all it is. Um, Very fun for the novelty of it, but you can't really go and like do much about it. It's not like it does not have a whole lot of replayability value. If that makes sense. Unless you're like really big on like beating your own personal record or something. Ooh. Prop hunt. I don't even know where this one is actually. Where did I put this one? B tier. Yeah. B tier, yeah. I think the issue with prop hunt in TF2 compared to Gmod is that like they use different classes. Like you can use a huntsman, sniper, but you're never gonna hit the scout, right? So you're better off just being pyro and just spamming squirt shots and stuff like that. We need a TF2 RPG, boy oh boy. You're gonna have to hold your words for that one. I don't know. Everybody's played prop hunt. You know what I mean? Everybody's played it. I feel like if you own Gmod, you're just gonna have a much more fun time playing prop hunt in Gmod than in TF2. Because the props in that game, although they run around really, really, really fast, they're not gonna double jump and juke you out for 9 years, right? Compared to TF2s. I don't hate it. It's very much like Murder Mario Kart gun game, where like it's fun to play once in a while, much more fun with friends. But I can't see myself like sitting down and really being like, you know what? Today's the day I'm gonna play prop hunt. I can see myself like, yeah, I'm playing the hidden, I'm hopping on dodgeball, I'm hopping on death run. I can't see myself ever really sitting down thinking, I want to play prop hunt. I think it's a much more spur of the moment thing. But make sure to watch for the prop hunt props ranked video. Never doing that. Prop hunt isn't a Halloween minigame yet. Well, I mean, like, Marasmus has that little thing. That's his entire joke that he plays prop hunt, right? I'm gonna do next year, April Fool's prop hunt tier list video. Randomizer, same thing. I don't know. Randomizer, fun, hop in, you have your chaos, get in, get out, right? Times 10, essentially same thing. I don't really have to say a lot about it. We've all played it once in our life. Fun to play with. I don't think anybody once again really sits down and is like, damn, I really love playing randomizer. I can play randomizer for hours on end. Boy oh boy, I'm having so much fun. Just you play it to play it. That's kind of what B tier is. Oh boy. Sandbox. Yeah, F tier. F tier. F tier. Hell, baby. Hey, hell. Sandbox sucks. Sandbox is literally like, hey, what if we had Gmod, but it was free and shitty? Just pirate Gmod at that point, okay? Gary himself said he's fine with it, okay? Just pirate Gmod. Just do that. Don't play Sandbox and TF2. You can't like move props around. It's very, very, very janky. I think you can drive the Half-Life car. Just don't. Don't get me wrong. If you're broke and you don't know how to pirate, you got like some moral code that we're really all digging and rooting for. Sure, I guess. Still, just get Gmod. Don't play Sandbox. You can't even like get add-ons too compared to Gmod. That's the other thing. Similarly to Sandbox, where you should just play the game it's native for, SCP Secret Lab. It's a free game. With Gmod, you had the excuse. Gmod costs money. SCP Secret Lab and TF2 sucks ass. You can just play the normal game with less jank, which is fun. The TF2 version of SCP Secret Lab does not have randomized maps like the normal version has. Every map is the same. Every round is the same. What you do is you spawn in as a D-boy, right? You grab a card, you run exactly to where 914 is, you upgrade your card, and you leave, right? From a argumentative point, it's impressive how they ported over very well. I will give it credit. It's a coding feat that they managed to like replicate the game that well, but you can't do it like 1-to-1. It's janky as hell, and because the maps aren't randomized, like it's very boring to play. I don't think I've ever actually ran into like an SCP playing SCP Secret Lab 2. That's like another thing. SCP Secret Lab is also like a coin flip game to play on its own. Like if you're playing with friends, it's fun. Can't even do that. This is weird. Thunder Fortress going in A tier. Thunder Fortress. I made a video on this, man. I don't really want to talk about it too hard. It's just, you walk around, you get spooked. It's fun once in a while, like WarioWare and all that. I see myself playing Thunder Fortress a lot more than I see myself playing most of the other game modes on this list that aren't in S tier. Yeah, all the times 10 alternatives, so like times 100, -1, etc., are all the same thing. My main issue with Thunder Fortress is like it's super fucking in depth. My video does not do justice to it. I was I was not thorough at all. I just wanted to focus on the classes with it. You know what I mean? Like, I think I said there's like 3 main bosses types, like Stalker, Hunter, and like Blinker, which is true, but there's like 90 of them. It's way more in depth. It's super fucking in depth. Thunder Fortress is fun to play with friends. It's fun to play with alone. The maps are impressive. It's a little bit janky with the AI. I think you're gonna have to like yell your mic a lot when fucking Pyramid Head does like a 720 and just turns around and kills you. It's just it's whatever. It's fine. It's fun. I don't got much more to say about it. Smash Bros. Also going in A tier. I literally just made a video about this. I don't want to have to talk about it for too long. It's Smash Brothers. You can't go wrong. I will say in hindsight, not as balanced of a game mode as you would think. If you're not playing like an S tier and A tier class like that I mentioned in the video, you're not playing one of those, you're not gonna have a fun time. Especially against scouts. That was fucking hell. I don't think I've ever had it like much more fun when I was like heavy versus scout. I think that was like the most painful experience I've had. Just can't do fucking anything about it. But yeah, I'm not gonna talk about it too much. Comparatively, I will talk a lot about Stop That Tank. Stop That Tank is kind of like Man Machines, but if it was good. Blue team is robots. They have to escort a tank. Red team has to stop the tank. Hence the game mode, Stop That Tank. Once the tank is destroyed, the blue team can pick up the bomb that the tank dropped. They have to bring it to the end of the payload path that normally goes through. This game is fun. I will 100% be making a tier list on it. I just don't know how painful it's going to be to make it, because very similar to Zombie Escape, it has special robots that mimic the giants in normal MVM. And similar to Zombie Escape, Zombie Fortress, not Zombie Escape. Similar to how Zombie Fortress had the special infected from Left 4 Dead 2, it's chance-based to get those robots, and doing that might be painful. Fun game mode to play with. It gets a bit repetitive if you don't get lucky and you don't get like the giants. That's like that's the highlight when you get to play as a giant, don't get me wrong. Very, very fun game mode to play. A bit repetitive, but very fun to play. It really is just more aggressive payload. I think that's the best way to describe it. Red has to be a lot more on the offense than the defense, while blue has to be more on the defense than the offense. It's a really weird mix-up. I also agree that they very easily could go ahead and make a game mode like how Crasher did it. Yeah. They did something similar with this Halloween. with the one payload race map where you had to escort the buzzsaw to break open Blue Tark and Red Tark's grave. But they only did that like at the very end, where you have to consistently stay with the cart to actually deal damage, which I guess is a very poor analogy of it, but still. There's 100%, without a doubt in my mind, there are official maps that use the formatting of you have to damage and break the bomb to do it. What's that one map that was released during End of the Line that's like End of the Line, you have two payload maps. There was a map like that that's in Miscellaneous where you have to go ahead and you have to like damage the bomb at the same time. Not going crazy. What's that called? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? You know the one where like the cart sits on the point and then like every 10 seconds like a thing drops on the cart and does damage? Snowplow, yeah, snowplow. That's kind of like that. Kinda. I'm gonna sidetrack. Anyways, next up, Surf. Surf is very similar to jump maps, but unlike jump maps, there at least is arguably more to do in Surf than just jump around or surf. You can still trade with people. You can still fight people. It's fun. I don't have much more to say about that. I do think surfing is a bit more of a niche skill. They have to practice the jump maps as well than rocket jumping. Rocket jumping, I do feel like there's a limit to like practical knowledge that will actually be useful in a game compared to what they expect you to do. Surfing, right? Surfing, especially on community servers, is like a necessary skill to have and to learn, right? I don't think you're ever gonna go ahead and you're ever gonna like find like things to surf off of in an official map. There might be a few. I can't think of it on the top of my head, but on community maps, it's an essential skill to have. 100%. Oh yeah, who was talking about? Man, oh man, I wish there was a TF2 RPG because there's a TF2 RPG. This is a real game mode. I have not played this game mode enough, but it is a real game mode, and it's weird. It's whack. It is wonky. It is I don't even RuneScape-esque, I guess. It's weird. I don't even know where to begin. It uses trade underscore Ocarina of Time DS, which if you don't know is literally just the Ocarina of Time DS game as a map. It's really weird though. I'll make a standalone video on it because not enough people heard about it. It's really weird. It's once again it's kind of like Zombie Riot where like it's impressive how much they have done. There are NPCs that you can talk to and like buy items from. There are NPCs you have to kill that you have to get money from, like level up. There are quests you have to do. It's weird. It's really impressive. I don't know. It's kind of boring to play because it's obviously an RPG in a game not meant to have an RPG, but it's there. I will impress. I'm impressed by the technology, by the coding. Ocarina of Time DS map? What? You've never seen that, bro? I'm very glad that I'm going to be hosting a server that's going to have a bunch of casual maps because that's 100% going to be one. 100% that map's going to be on there. Yeah, but TF2 RPG, I highly recommend checking it out yourself. I'm not doing enough justice with how zany and wacky it is, how kind of just out there it is. You might not have too much fun with it. It's obviously a much more novel concept. If you like grinding pointlessly, sure. Like playing an actual RPG. Wild though. Tower defense. Tower defense. I think I have an old script for this video somewhere. I was gonna do a tier list for this video, but I realized how difficult it would be because it's not a very easy game mode to play. Tower defense is essentially you are an engineer, you have a sentry, and a bunch of other robots to help you out. It costs money to buy those robots, which act as towers. You can place them along the enemy path. The enemy, if they get to the end, they win. Very fun game mode to play. I highly recommend playing it. You can play it by yourself or with friends. It's made for smaller groups of like 4 people. Not very balanced though. Very difficult too, by the way. Hard to do anything if you're doing solo. There's also like a lot of different variety too. There's a Girardi tower, there's a minigun tower, there's a grenade tower. There's even different enemy types. There'll be speedy types, there'll be regen types, there'll be airborne enemies, there'll be knockback immune enemies. It's not. There's also the other con I would say about it. There's not that many maps. One of the maps, PD_swamp, is broken, and the other 2 maps I think are called like Fire Set and something like that are just kind of like dev textures half around, which aren't too nice to look at. The best map by far is Island, and even then that's kind of just like an island. It looks the nicest, but that's not saying much. Fun game mode though. Highly recommend playing it for yourself. The game mode I often find myself coming back to play. Check it out. TR Walkway. Also not a game mode, just a map. Similar to Orange. I would unironically rank this lower than Orange though. TR Walkway, I swear if I'm having a bad day as sniper, I'll hop on TR Walkway, I'll get 100 kills and I'll hop off just to get into things. I feel like you feel like people are too reliant on TR Walkway though. I feel like too many people just go ahead and they do nothing but grind on TR Walkway. They think that makes them good. You're better off doing MGE at that point. Like if you want to just like strictly practice your aim, yeah, do that over like aim labs. But TR Walkway is not the place to practice TF. If you want to like, it is the place to do bare bone basics practice. I do mean bare bones. Like it's like, oh, what's this weapon do? I may as well use it in a controlled environment. It's wild. TR Walkway is also really only good, like I said, for I only use it for warming up. I can't imagine anybody else using it for any other purpose but to warm up. Trade servers. Trade servers might be a bit too high, but I'm gonna be honest. If you're playing on like a really shitty trade map, like yeah. But then like we have, as I mentioned before, trade_DS Ocarina of Time, which is the entire Ocarina of Time map, which is fun to play against. Fun to play on. I don't know. Trade is trade. It's not fun to actually do any of the trading. It's more fun to play on the map itself. They'll have some Pokemon maps on there, like they have Rusty Bucket Bay. I like playing more on the maps than I like trading on trade servers. And I really don't want to talk about trade. It's kind of just on here to be on here. Oh my god, we only have 3 more to go. We're almost at the end. There's some that I might add on here at the end, but like, I don't know. TTT. TTT is a game mode that we have played, that I have played on Chuckle Nuts. I think people saw that. Does not work for TF2. Just once again, go play Gmod. Go play Treason. Treason is a free game on Steam that's TTT, but it's much more fast-paced. Don't play TTT. The reason why you shouldn't play TTT and TF2 is because it doesn't work. When you have a free-for-all setting like that, but everybody's on the same team, some bullets just don't want to work because you're not meant to shoot teammates, right? Friendly fire damage doesn't work in TF. Okay? Just doesn't. It also doesn't help that some of the trader buy menu weapons and things are a bit wonky and janky. But that's like another thing. I will say it's kind of like a bit janky that like TTT and TF2, right? You're limited to a soldier with the shotgun, I think, or a pyro with the shotgun, or a sniper with the huntsman. I think those are the classes you're limited to. But if you're a terrorist, you can just buy a rocket launcher and win every single fight. Because it's a rocket launcher. It's your primary means of dealing damage. to a group of people nonetheless. TF_friendly_fire 1 is a thing, but the issue is it doesn't use the hit boxes for the teammates. It uses their collision boxes because it uses the same system that the melee weapons use, which is the issue. So you might have shots that entirely miss that will still connect, or shots that should hit but don't because of that. That's kind of why I said it's janky. It's not, like I said, that TF2 is not meant to have friendly fire for that reason. Oh, it's especially meant, like, because we're not just talking about projectiles too. With projectiles is a little bit better, but we're talking about like hit scan weapons. Hit scan weapons, it's jank as fuck. Especially, here's the thing: sniper rifles don't work with friendly fire on. Did you know that? Because the way sniper rifles inherently work, sniper rifles are meant to bypass teammates and shoot through teammates. So if friendly fire is on and you shoot a sniper rifle, you will never be able to hit a teammate with it. You can't deal damage to a teammate with a sniper rifle. Stupid. That's how they made the game. That's just how they made the game. Same thing with backstabs. You can't backstab a teammate. That's just how they made the game. I'm getting really off track. TTT, check it out. Play it once or twice. Same thing with like Orange or like Man Machines and Parkour Fortress. Fun novelty. Janky as hell though. Just play Gmod, right? Still, like, it's not that terrible. Uber upgrades. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't entirely remember the last time I played Uber upgrades, and I don't even really remember what Uber upgrades kind of is. But I have Uber upgrades on here. What's Uber upgrades again? It's kind of just like you buy the MVM upgrades and then you play a normal match of TF2 with it, right? It's fun. Chaotic. If you like times 10 and stuff like that, but you want a bit more of a balanced thing that's not as chaotic and mind numbing, then you got Uber upgrades. I don't have a lot more to say about that. It's fun. Yeah. Someone's making a revamp of Uber upgrades, that'd be good. I don't have a lot to say about it. I don't play Uber upgrades that often. I've heard a lot of people say like it's really, really fun. It's like a new twist on a TF2 casual. I'm not sure about that. A few times I played, I've had fun, but I wasn't like really enthralled by it. And finally, the last one on this tier list that I wrote. We all know what it is. We already know. It's versus Saxon Hill. Come on. We all fucking knew. Undeniably the greatest game mode that like exists. Versus Saxon Hill is better than some of the more official game modes. Like straight up. Phenomenal. I like, even like, I can't complain. Every single game I have like a complaint with to a certain degree. Versus Saxon Hill, I don't have any complaints with the core gameplay. I have like server side issues with it, but I have zero fucking complaints about versus Saxon Hill. And then obviously we got Lizard of Oz. I don't know if they're still in here, but they're making versus Saxon Hill 2. Versus Saxon Hill V-Script, which I've not personally played, but I've talked to Lizard a lot about it. It looks fucking sick. It's a complete revamping. If you had issues with versus Saxon Hill, like if you're like, man, I really hate dying and waiting out in arena mode. Man, I really hate like playing boss and I hate getting knocked around. I hate the maps, I hate like the long read, the times, etc., whatever. Fucking V-Script versus Saxon Hill gets rid of all those issues. It just gets rid of them all. It makes it better. It makes Hill a lot more dynamic too. He has like a knockback punch that does AoE. He has like a charge attack. It makes it a lot more dynamic than just a simple super jump punch rage. It looks like fun. I'm excited to see it. I really hope, Lizard. I'm begging. I'm going to commit domestic terrorism if Valve doesn't add it. As a joke. As a joke. Not real, guys. Don't report me, you Phenomenal. Let's go! We're the best! 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10, 12 out of 10! I kind of wish, you can only add, like, Lizard, are you planning to add more bosses? I feel like I asked you this question before, and I know you said that you wouldn't add any of the old ones because of issues, especially with Vagineer for obvious reasons. I don't know how fundamentally VScript would work with adding multiple bosses either, but I really hope that there will be other bosses just to kind of spice it up even more. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink. I know you said something about map dependent bosses. I think that'd be the best way to go. But yeah, that is the tier list. Bosses will be map based. There you go, folks. VScript versus Saxon Hill is out, yes. I think Lizard hosts a permanent server on tf2maps.net that hosts it once in a while. Put a symbol that deems what's the worst and the best. Hold on. We're not done yet. Alright? Because these are just the game modes that I made preemptively. Okay? We're not done, guys. Okay? Because we got more that I can add right now. Not a lot, but some. For example, we got Open Fortress, which technically not a game mode, it's more of a mod. But who fucking cares? Huh? What are you, my mom? Open Fortress. Solid game mode. Not game mode. Solid mod. My mistake. Does it want to type? Photoshop? You want to type? Photoshop? Or is it too big? Way too big. That's the issue. Fuck. Open Fortress, I really like it. I kind of wish my problems with it is that the only active servers seem to be in the EU. And anytime a person who is native to the EU plays on Open Fortress, they win. Because you can't do anything about it. It's just network connectivity. I love it though. If you've ever played Doom, you've ever done Doom kind of PvP, very fast paced, very quick weapon based pickup. So much fun. Very fun. You gotta know how to b-hop though to play it. Also, I can't do anything because Photoshop is permanently saving it stuck at 99%. I don't want to close out of this. You done yet? Oh, fuck. We'll just go ahead. We'll say it off by name. Open Fortress, A tier. Free Fortress 2, which if you don't know, is the cut content of beta TF2 put back into a full functioning format. So some things about it are cut weapons, cut maps, cut cart, the cut payload cart. Grenades are a big thing in Pre-Fortress 2. It's like a nice, I would say it's B tier. It's a nice twist on TF2 if you get really bored. Grenades are a bit spammy, I find. Like, even in, like, that's kind of the reason why they removed from TF2. They're a bit spammy. They even, like, put restrictions on them. I think there's, like, a 3-second, 5-second cooldown from when you can throw one grenade to the next. Even with that, still spammy. It's okay. I would say B tier. Compared to something like Team Fortress 2 Classic, which I would say is probably S tier, it doesn't do enough to really innovate on TF2, Pre-Fortress 2. Team Fortress 2 Classic adds so much stuff. New weapons. Versus Saxon Hale's in it. Fucking easy S tier. You put Versus Saxon Hale in it, I'm gonna love it. No cosmetics, no hats. Great guns. Amazing. It's the same thing. It's just TF2, but more. I can't complain. It's just this base game, but more. Essentially DLC. S tier. Easy. Phenomenal. I can't think of anything else, though. I think that's like 55. I didn't even look up TF2 community game modes. A guide to every custom game mode in TF2. Good God. Anybody think of anything else? COD Zombies. Oh yeah, I guess that's one. Um, Call of Duty Zombies isn't really a mod; it's a map. I did a standalone video on it. It only works off of the first zombie map, the World War II Nazi bunker. Oh my god, what's the name of it? I'm blanking on it. Natatash, something like that. I don't know. It's fine. It's not very balanced. If you play Pyro, you play Soldier, something along that line, you're just gonna win because obviously you do high crowd control. I think it's like B tier. Fun to play with friends. I know I put C tier. Sorry, C tier. Call of Duty Zombie. You can't pick up weapons, so you can't buy weapons. You don't really unlock the map. Sorry, the map does kind of like progressively open up as the rounds progress. But the fact that you kind of just pick up a health kit, right? Skeletons are not zombies or skeletons. They don't pose much of a threat really if you have like a flamethrower or something like that. I'm impressed by the map, but the game itself is very repetitive and boring. I would probably say yeah, D tier. I think that's it. I think that's like 50 game modes, right? I think that's everything. That's all the game modes I played anyways. Oh, it's transit. Yeah, essentially. I think that's everything. I'll very quickly order the tiers of where they belong. Can I move this now? Thank you. I'll order like best to worst in the very quickly. Uh Fuck me. Wacky Races. Wacky Races is my baby. Versus Saxon Hale. Obviously the GOAT. Zombie Fortress. I don't even care. It doesn't look. Freak Fortress 2 is this versus Saxon Hale, but like a little bit choppier. Oh my god. Fine. There you go. About A tier. WarioWare. Class War. Definitely. I'm fine with how A tier is actually. I don't really have any complaints about A tier. I might move Lambada Fortress. It didn't look like Slender Fortress there. I do play Slender Fortress like a lot more out of everything. I don't really enjoy it compared to everything else. Fucking don't shrink your fucking text. Yeah. Stop that tank. Yeah. That's fair. I don't really have any complaints. April Fool's MVM does not count because that's just a custom MVM mission and map. Those guys do that at like every single server. Every couple months they'll have like a custom MVM mission. I do on the odd occasion, but yeah. Da, 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 da. I really would just put murder and propping at the front, and I really don't care about anything else. I know I said I was gonna like organize them in, but I really don't care. Jailbreak by far is the worst game mode. Versus Saxon Hale is by far the best. I feel very indecisive about like where everything else can go. About Super Mario Galaxy 2, I don't fuck. That's the tier list. That's all the game. That's every single game I played, plus some bonuses. Get out of here, Vamoose. Go play the games for yourself now. I don't know, look up the servers. Go ahead, play them on yourself. Have fun. Highly recommend checking out like Tower Defense, WarioWare, Wacky Races. How do you know? Yeah, Freak versus Freak is on here. It's listed as Freak Fortress 2 rewritten. I hate it. It's not fun. I'm not ranking in tiers. I don't really care. That's a tier list. Go out there. Go have fun. Go play the games yourself. Thank you for the 50k subs. I will be working on tier lists for some of these videos, like I mentioned before. Individually, you can look at them. I don't think I'll do a video on this. I don't know. If you want to, go ahead, chop up highlights or clips about like a game and fucking make a video. Go ahead. I don't care. I don't have the motivation or effort to go through nearly 2 hours of this. Just do you. You do you. You do you. Go play the game.